Hello and welcome back to Devotionnet. This is your host Doc, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be reviewing the Wrestlemania 33 card and tell you what I feel. I'll probably give it a rank from F to an A, and we can discuss what we guys thought of the event. So if you guys like this video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe your opinion on Wrestlemania 33. So I'm going to have a little bit of a guide here so I can remember the card so I don't forget anything. We're going to start off with... We're going to go through the pre-show matches as well, just to make sure we hit every aspect that we can and see how it goes. So we're going to start off with the cruiserweight match on the pre-show between Neville and Austin Aries. It was a fun match to watch. Austin Aries had his spots. Neville did his typical heel acts that were very well received. I thought they both did a tremendous job. I enjoyed the match. It seemed like they were both into it, both performing their spots well, and it was a fun match to see. I was sad to see it on the pre-show. I felt like I was surprised at the way WWE went with how the pre-show was ran. I'll get into that later, but I don't know. My opinion's changed. I don't think they should have had the cruiserweight title on the pre-show. I see why they did it. And it was fun to. I wasn't happy to see Neville win again, even though he did by cheating. But I think what WWE is going to go with this rivalry instead of to keep going because it wasn't a clean win since Neville cheated. They're going to keep it going. It's not like it's the end all be all with Neville. It was just a win that he had. He had to cheat to get it, and I think they're going to keep this rivalry going to the next pay-per-view, and I think Austin Aries will eventually come out on top, but it was just another step on the rung for what Neville had to do for his win. What was the next match? Next match was the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. It went differently than a lot of us expected. I was in the camp that I was expecting Braun to win this one. It just made too much sense, but they had a showdown between him and Big Show, which with ending with Braun eliminating Big Show again, which isn't the first time. And to get him out, they had to throw out. All the wrestlers had to gang up on him and throw him out. Sammy and Dolph both had a good little run where you thought that they could have it. I thought Sammy was going to be the favorite at this point. He gets thrown out and Dolph gets thrown out. Then we had, I believe it was Dolph. I'm sorry, I'm saying Dolph. It was Jinder Mahal, Mojo Rawley, a couple other people. They had Big Damo. That was a surprise. They had him from NXT in there. He had a chance to win, but I didn't see why they really should have needed him to win. I guess it's good to have him down to the final three, which shows give a little bit of strength to sanity. I can see why they did it. But yeah, they had a spot where Mojo went through the middle row so he wasn't eliminated, and Jinder went out to go get him. He was beating him on the outside ring, and then they had Gronk out there. He saw what was going on. He told Jinder to stop what he doing. Jinder wasn't happy about that, so he grabbed his drink, threw it in his face. Gronk got mad, jumped over the barricade, but great security work was done by the lady. She saw Gronk. This big 6'6" ass jump over the barricade. She tried her best to stop him, which it was cool to see this woman, even though it was such a big man, still tried to do her job. Obviously, she wasn't in on what was going on. The referee Robinson, had to come in, let her know what was going on. Gronk got in the ring. She had to laugh about it, so that was all good to see. And what happened? Gronk gave Jinder a shoulder tackle and hit the ground. Celebrated Mojo. Mojo came in, cleaned up Damo, and Jinder was eliminated by Mojo. So Mojo won the Battle Royale, which was really surprising. Then they had a celebration between him and Gronk, which I enjoyed seeing that. And that was I think that was entertaining for a pre-show match, 100%. Because this match, I don't know if everybody understood this, but the pre-show was on YouTube, Facebook, all over it for free. So casual people could come in and watch it, see just what was going on with WWE. Seeing a title on the pre-show was probably a good move for them. So everyone knew the stakes that were at hand for WrestleMania. the Battle Royale. It was fun to see Gronk, a familiar face, for everyone to really get into WWE. You can see that celebrities are into it too, so I think that was smart also to have Gronk on there. And then they actually had the Intercontinental on the pre-show as well, which is a familiar title. I think that is actually also a great idea to have it on pre-show, because the people that were just viewing on Facebook and YouTube probably said, "Oh, this seemed like a fun event," but like you see that a title getting defended, and that's exciting to see. And I think it brought people in, to tell you the truth. I think that it was fun to see. It was fun to see. I think that people got vested in what they saw. I think that it was entertaining to hit all the spectrums that they needed to do. So I think it was a good idea for them to switch the Intercontinental Championship with the SmackDown Women's Championship, because it was the SmackDown Women's Championship has to do more to get more popularity and prestige that the Intercontinental already has. So it was good to have it on the actual show. It was much needed. The Intercontinental has enough prestige that it can handle being on the pre-show and still hold its prestige. So I think that was handled well as well. But onto the match between Dean and Baron. It was a hard-hitting affair. Dean was able to counter the End of Days into the how am I forgetting the Dirty Deeds, and got that win. I was expecting Baron Corbin to win. I don't know. That's one of the few matches on the card, the pre-show card, or just in general, that I wasn't understanding why Dean won. I think it may just be due to give him a win, since he loses quite often lately since he's a face. I don't hate it. I thought Baron would win, but I could see maybe they didn't want to give him another loss of Wrestlemania. So Dean got the win on that. And overall, the cruiserweight match, I'll give it. I was expecting a little bit more, to tell you the truth, between those two. I give it a C plus. Andre the Giant Memorial match, I would base. I don't know. I'll give that I enjoyed it, so that's what I should base it off. I'll give it a B. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed what I saw. And the Intercontinental, I gave it a C. It wasn't the greatest match, but it was okay. They could have been done better. But overall, a good pre-show match. I think it hit what they wanted to hit. And yeah, nicely done. So on to the main card. The first match was Kevin Owens. AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. That match surprised me. That's probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I was really surprised at how well Shane stepped up his wrestling skills, not just his spots. He wrestled. He had like a rollover pin attempt on AJ. He did some flips with AJ that he normally doesn't do. Some suplex. He hung with AJ very well. The spots that he did were tacky or ticky-tack or just like old man spots. They were his drop from across the ring. Crazy to see. Arm drop miss onto the table. Nice attempt. And Shane pulled off a moonsault. That was impressive to see. I don't remember the last time he did that. Shows that he still got it up in his age in the 50s. And AJ did well as always. I wasn't in the AJ camp when he was a face, but he has turned it up to a new level as a heel pseudo anti-hero. I think he's doing that really well. And I think it was smart to put AJ over in this match. He deserved it. He deserved his WrestleMania moment. And I think this is going to lead to a feud between him and Randy Orton once this whole Bray Wyatt thing cools over. So I think it was really well done and great to see. Fun match. Fun in all corners. And in that match, I'll give it an A. I enjoyed it. It was fun for me to see. And I didn't see anything wrong with it. I know people were say Shane can't wrestle, so that probably affects their opinion on it. But overall, it was a fun match. And yeah, no complaints from me. The next match was Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. I would say it was a good match. That was the best for me. The one they told a great story. They talked mess throughout the match as only they can do. The story, the build up to this match was incredible. So it enhanced the draw of the match. I thought that Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho both played their characters well, made you believe that they were really upset with each really really there's real hatred towards each other. Kevin Owens made you feel like he really never liked Jericho in that match. There's only one way this match can go as well, because I know Jericho has stuck around a while since he came back, about a year and a half, so he probably is about due for some time off. So Kevin Owens got the win. He carried the championship off into glory. There's even some news that he might leave Chris Jericho's name on the title, which would be a little, and nice change up, show some little disrespect towards Chris, and it's pretty nicely done. I thought it was a great match. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is I think that WWE doesn't trust Kevin Owens without a title because of the way he looks. So his credibility won't be as high to when regular people see him wrestle. They might think that he's a joke, but if they see a title on him, they take him more seriously. I'm worried about that a little bit, that they might never show him as a credible threat ever since the John. I don't know. It's just it's a tough thing to see what they're trying to do, because I really think they don't trust him without a title. But it's a fun match to see. I think Chris Jericho's about to take some time off, and I give this match a B also. Fun to see, no complaints, and WrestleMania was off to a strong start for me. I enjoyed it all the way up to this point. Then we had the Raw's Women's title match, 4-way elimination. Great story told. It was between Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Bayley. They told a great story. It took three women? Yeah, 3 women to power slam in a Shields-esque way to defeat Nia Jax. She was cleaning house the entire match. They couldn't stop individually, so they all legit had to gang up together, which told a great story for Nia. Took her seriously. So that's how they got a pin. They all had to cover her. Next, it was a kind of a rematch, storytelling-wise, greatly done by WWE, with Charlotte versus. Bayley got thrown out of the ring. It was Charlotte versus Sasha for a while. Charlotte cheated by ripping off the padding on the ropes and exposed the turnbuckle. She slammed Sasha into it, knocked her out, got the pin on her. Then it was the showdown between Bayley and Charlotte. It was a battle. Charlotte did all she could, try to get the win, but she couldn't. She did her damnedest to do all she had in her. It took a couple Bailey to Bellies to get the W. But I didn't highlight on this, but another beautiful corkscrew moonsault to the outside by Charlotte. Beautiful, well done, great to see. I think that Charlotte and Nia showed out the most to me in this match. Bayley did well also, but I felt like Sasha was lacking. She didn't have any major spots that showed me that she normally does. So I was a little disappointed with Sasha, but it was still a fun match to see. This match, I enjoyed it. I thought I was engaged the entire time, even though people are upset that they're only showing off 5 women's. Really, there was only 5 really women prevalent. Dana Brooke is borderline. She was prevalent throughout the entire year. But I think they sold the story well. I believed in the fact that this was a top tier match, and I gave it an A-. I enjoyed it, so that's how I feel about that match. And the next one, what was it? Oh, I don't even know how to get into it. The Raw Tag Team Championship. With this, we had what was it? Cesaro and Sheamus versus Enzo and Cass versus the Club, and it was supposed to be a triple threat ladder match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. New Day came down dressed in their gear, told us that there was someone else, another team in this match. So I assumed it was the New Day, as did everybody else, and they were walking towards the ring, selling like no one else could but the New Day. And what other music would hit but the Hardy Boys? The Hardy Boys came out in WrestleMania 33 to everybody's surprise, entered into the tag team match. It was ridiculous to see. I can't believe the Hardy Boys are back. It was engaging. They were doing all the stuff. They had the twist of fates off the top ladder by Matt Hardy, twist of fate on who was Anderson. They had a spot where Anderson and Gallows smacked the ladders together between the Hardy Boys. They fell out. Enzo took the hard hitting spots like no one else could but him. Cass got some big boots on the Hardy Boys as well. It was, as the ladder matches usually are, a spot filled match, but it's a great spot filled match. And to top it all off, after the twist of fate of Matt Hardy, he got to the top rope. I mean, the top of the ladder. He's about to grab the title, and then he saw his brother Jeff climb to the tallest ladder that they could find. He got to the top, did his leap of death like no one else could do, but Jeff Hardy smacked through Cesaro and Sheamus and the Hardy Boys. That's so weird to say. The Hardy Boys are the Raw Tag Team Champions. There was no stories, no speculation that the Hardy Boys would enter this tag match. Everyone freaked out over this. I still can't believe the Hardy Boys are back. They're the champions, and the Hardy Boys are back, guys. In the short, and they had I don't even know what to say. A+. It may not have been the best match, but it was the most entertaining match of the night by far. Just to see the Hardy Boys back. The New Day sold it fantastically. No one speculated that was anybody but the New Day about to enter. And they're just so well done. So well done. So up to this point, I love this WrestleMania. This was fun to watch. Great to see. Everything was hitting on all points for me. The Hardy Boys are back in the WWE Boys. Next up was the John Cena and Nikki Bella Miz and Maurice match. I was surprisingly interested in seeing how this match would go. I was invested in seeing how it was going to end up. I didn't think there was going to be a big wrestling show involved. I know that this was a big match for casual fans that follow the reality show and people that just outside of WWE that watch it. It was entertaining, great match. I would say that Nikki Bella did her good job keeping up with the ring. I think that The Miz sold his in-ring presence very well. He had great moments, whether it was speaking to the crowd, imitating Daniel Bryan like he does best. All the people getting into that, and just being a good heel. John Cena did his typical John Cena stuff. I don't hate John Cena. I think he does great things for the business. He makes the matches big. The reason that this was such a big match was because of John Cena. And in the end, you had the Rack Attack 2.0 and I'm used to saying FU because attitude era. Got the pin. Of course, it was an average match. It was just the names. It was one of those matches was for the names, get everybody casuals into it and enjoy it. At the end of the match, John Cena proposed to Nikki Bella. Everyone saw it coming. I'm assuming that he did it outside the ring before that because there was no tears by Nikki. It's part of the business. I understand. I wouldn't have done that if I was John. I just feel like, why are you proposing in the ring? I don't know. I might be in the minority for that. That made me. I was a little awkward. I didn't know how to feel. I don't know. That was a little weird. I enjoyed the match though. It was entertaining. I wasn't a fan of the proposal aspect that they got to do that because it's for show. At least I know it's for show. But overall, I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C plus if it wasn't for the proposal. But I'll give it a C in general, just to sum up everything. We're getting down to the last few matches. We had what was the next one? It was what was it? I think it was Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Good storytelling. Seth Rollins sold his bum knee the whole match. Showed that he was ailing, in trouble. He was acting like his knee injury was going to hold him back. He was trying to do spots. His knee kept buckling. He couldn't finish his pedigrees due to his knee. He had a beautiful Falcon Arrow. I was glad to see that come back in on Triple H. I wish that would have finished him, but it didn't. Triple H used a sledgehammer to take out. Oh no, did he use a sledgehammer? I don't remember if he used a sledgehammer. But Stephanie was doing her typical manager heel work, taking the sledgehammer from Seth, giving it to Triple H, and also we had a Stephanie bump. Triple H got thrown on Stephanie. She fell through a table, took her out. Seth took the opportunity to pedigree Triple H, got the win on Triple H. I just felt like it wasn't the most believable finish to me because they sold that Seth had such a bum knee that he couldn't do most of the stuff that he normally does. So I have a hard time believing that Triple H would lose to a person with a bum leg. I think it showed perseverance, and it shows Rollins continued pushing to being a babyface. Not babyface, but a face character. I feel like I'm in a minority of this. I would have preferred Triple H to win because I think his credibility is waning when it comes to WrestleMania matches because he is losing quite often lately. So I would have given it to Triple H. I mean, but it was still fun to watch. Good match, kinda. I would give this a C also. And we'll see what happens with Seth. If they show this right, then it's not a big deal that Triple H got the loss. As long as they push Seth in the right manner. And then in the next match, I was actually excited for this, was Goldberg versus Brock. Good selling on both parts. It was entertainment. That was a big match for people that don't normally watch WWE. I enjoyed it. It was top of the line. And how quick it was. As soon as the match started, Brock got some suplex, took a Goldberg suplex city, suplexed him around. He celebrated, he draws his guard for half a second. He got a spear from hell from Goldberg. Took him off his feet. He thought he was done. He got speared again. Rolled out of the ring, but he thought he knew, which showed that Brock was learning that you can't take some spears and then just battle Goldberg. So he rolled out of the ring before he could jackhammer him. And he was sitting outside the ring. So he was getting ready to come back in, and then Goldberg just charged him, gave him another spear from hell, took him out through the barricade, and then they rolled back in. Brock got an F5, kicked out, which is impressive to see. Goldberg was surprised, so Brock got back up, and he was about to take another spear. He leapfrogged over him, which showed athleticism by Brock, and he was able to suplex Goldberg a couple times, then hit him with an F5 out of the jackhammer, I believe, to get the win. So I think this is the way it should have gone. Goldberg's part timer. They can do more with what's his name? With Brock, with the Universal Championship. So I think that was well done, entertaining to watch, and I think, yeah, I enjoyed it. B plus, A minus. I liked it. I guess if my initial reaction, give it an A minus. I give it an A minus. I mean, I'll just say it A minus. I enjoyed it. What do we have? Oh, I think I skipped over the WWE Championship, which was between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Great storytelling. They kept up. They were evenly matched. They had a great spots. A Sister Abigail outside the ring, RKO outside the ring. Whenever Bray did something crazy, they changed the ring color, which I thought was a nice little change up for the WWE. They had an overhang lighting that showed cockroaches and worms squirming around the ring. It showed how crazy Bray was. And after one of these spots, Randy Orton knocked Bray's hands off, gave him an RKO. 1, 2, 3, or RKO out of nowhere. Of course, that's going to end the match, and that's how Bray went down. Really, really fun match to see. A good build-up for the storyline. Fantastic way to... I think this might be the end of the rivalry, personally. There's a lot you can do with Randy Orton. I wish that Bray could have held on to it a little longer, but it's a good first reign for him. Overall, good build-up with the match. I gave it a B. Performance I thought could have been a little bit better, but I don't think that either one is phenomenal in ring to me when I see them. But I thought they did well for what they were handed, and I think we're getting close to the end. We had what's the next match? It was the SmackDown Women's match. It was a quick match. It was between oh my God, it's gonna take a while. Carmella, Natalia, my girl Alexa Bliss, how you doing? Naomi. Who am I missing? Mickey James. Is that it? Who's gonna say? And is that it? Yep. So they had a spot fill match. Naomi did her thing as a quick match. I'm trying to remember that this was such a fast match that I did not like the way that they had. What's her name? Oh God, Becky Lynch was in there. I didn't like how Becky Lynch came out with her ring attire. I didn't think it really fit her to that degree. I think that I don't know. She just looked weird, but overall the match was fun. It was all right. I think it was probably the most underwhelming match of the card for me, pre-show or not, which surprised me. I expected more, but it was just the way that they had it. It was just a 6-man match. It wasn't elimination, so I thought that would have brought a little bit more to it. So, I think that they all had their moments. They showed some good. I think Naomi and Alexa stood out the most. I like the little rivalry that they showed that could be brewing between Alexa and Carmella. I think they should have good chemistry between the two. And I like that Naomi got the pin in the middle of the ring against... the submission against Alexa to cement herself as a credible champion. And I think it was a good WrestleMania moment for Orlando and Naomi. So I wasn't a great fan of that. I give that match. I mean, I like the people involved, but overall it wasn't the greatest. I gave it a C-, D+ overall for that. I'll give it a C-. I didn't think any match was god awful to get a D, so I'll give it a C-. And the final match was it was hard to see. It was Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. Undertaker just seemed like he was done. You know, he's 52, 53, I don't know, mid-50s. He's up there in age. He tried to hang with Roman, but he just doesn't have the ability to do what he can anymore. There's just some stuff that Undertaker couldn't do anymore. They had a moment where Roman was supposed to give Taker a tombstone, and Taker was supposed to kick up his legs to get the weight up, but Taker couldn't do it. So it looked bad. It was sloppy by Taker. People are blaming Roman for those things. No, I don't see how that's even a possibility. If you have a 50-year-old man that you're wrestling with, and Roman has never had a botch-filled match in his career ever. That's just more than Roman hate that I don't like. But they ended the match with a couple spears by Roman. The Taker took the most spears by anybody and kicked out. The majority of them would show the strength of Taker and gave him still some credibility. Roman looked distraught at the end of the match, knowing that what he had to do, but he had to be the man to retire Taker. And he pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. Walked out. I know it hurt. I can't imagine being the person that retired Taker. And it was rough to see. I know a lot of people that watched wrestling continuously throughout the year. Taker was a big part of WrestleMania. I don't know how that's going to be without him. This is only my second WrestleMania watching, because I used to watch it as a kid. I got back in the last few years, and it's hard to see Taker gone, but he left his hat, gloves, robe, all in the ring. Yeah, this is probably the last WrestleMania by Taker. I understand why they went with Roman to retire him, because it's a little bit more of a push for Roman. I know people hate Roman for those pushes, but he doesn't decide this. It's is the Vince McMahon's decision. So the hate towards Roman is unjustified at this point. He's a good performer in the ring. He's actually a great performer in the ring. He doesn't have bad matches beside this because of the limitations by Taker at this point in his career, which most people won't even address because of the fantasy of what Taker is. I still love Taker, but you got to be honest with yourself with what's going on. It's the retirement match. I know he didn't want it. You see pictures of him distraught backstage, and there's gonna be a lot of heat on Roman. You guys see what he can do with it. I know this could be a storyline to play through to be on the second person to beat Taker. It's clearly leading to Brock versus Roman. You know Roman's gonna win that. Excuse me. The only thing that we don't know is that there's gonna be a heel turn between Roman throughout this process, because we already know Roman's going to win at the next WrestleMania. I think that they probably shouldn't have put Roman in so many main events in a row, because people are going to get tired of him, but he is going to be a main event in the next one too. Yeah, it's hard to see. I don't think, if you're in the camp that are just hating on Roman for retiring Taker, he didn't decide that, and then obviously Taker saw something in Roman to be the retirement match for Taker. So that's how you end WrestleMania. I give this by default. I give it an A+, just because it's Taker's last match. It wasn't we all know it wasn't a good match, but just out of respect for Taker, I give it an A+ for his finale at WrestleMania. It was overall great WrestleMania. I enjoyed New Day as host. They did a phenomenal job. That was better than the one WrestleMania I saw last year. I know that's going to be one of the top WrestleManias that I probably will see, just because of everything that happened, especially with the Hardy Boys returning in. Just a good way to get into the post WrestleMania season, because there's going to be some wild stuff to happen, and I'm just excited to see how this all goes down. So with that ends our review of WrestleMania 33. That was long-winded. This was probably the longest video I've done on my channel. I hope that I didn't screw this up and not record it. It looks like I recorded it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. That was a long-winded video. Please continue to stay on the channel. It's been fun ride to be around with you guys, and I hope to keep seeing y'all around. This has been your host, Doc, and thank you for stopping by the Votes Net. Let me know what you thought of WrestleMania. Peace.